that game last night, we kind of like underestimated that score. We really
underestimated the score as far as how high it would be, but I think the range was pretty fair. I said 105 to 100. What did they win? 130, 132 to 126.
It was 132 to 126.
So 6 points. I mean, I called it yesterday. I said I can see us. You know what I mean? I can see them coming out, punching us in the mouth. We get down, but we've shown the ability to come back. I think we just turned it on a little too late, honestly. We turned the defense on a little too late. 24 points in what was it, 25 in the fourth quarter? So it was like, yeah, we held them down when we actually turned it up. But I just think that we made the adjustment a little too late. But as there's no more victories, but I think we've shown a lot of promise for next game, honestly. We've shown promise. We've shown a few matchups that can work in our favor, and we'll just see.
So let's recap the game in general, because from what I was seeing here, and I've noticed even the way that the Lakers were losing, and I look at all the four quarters was close.
Mm-hmm. All the first quarter was when he got blitzed.
37-25. Then you had 35-29. You had 34-38. Then 34-26. So either way, it looked like in the first two quarters it was going to be a blowout. But y'all still kept yourselves in the game some way, somehow in that first half. And as a Laker, as Lakers fans should think, I know y'all good for coming back, but you don't want to start like that either.
No. You know the start was very piss poor, especially defensively. I think offensively we've shown to be a slow starting team. Everybody finding their rhythm. LeBron figuring out the pace of the game, how you want to play on any given night. But I think defensively we had lapses we just had lapses in just mental awareness, it's connectivity coming around screens. We had a few turnovers in the first quarter that kind of got ugly. We just didn't get back on defense. They ran it down. They just ran off of makes. They ran off of misses, obviously. But I think that, the D'Angelo matchup was kind of a struggle initially because Bruce Brown just saw blood when he saw him. He was just going straight downhill, straight to the basket, off of makes, off of misses, and just attacking before we could even get set. So I think that, like I say, the role players were huge for Denver, as they have been. They play better at home than they play on the road, and you just have to bank on KCP not getting 19 and Bruce Brown not getting 21. Like, you can't win like that. You honestly can't win. It's hard to win when D'Angelo was very disappointing.
Junior played yesterday too.
He played solid.
On both sides of the ball.
He had a few. 2 blocks. I think 1 or 2 blocks. He played decent defense. It wasn't nothing too spectacular. I just think that offensively he hit some tough shots. He had a couple, especially in the fourth quarter. Honestly, I think that the game was just like, it was just up for grabs, and they just hit a couple of video game shots. Honestly, like Joker hits the one at the end of the third quarter with Anthony Davis draped all on him. Jamal Murray comes out the start of the third quarter, hits basically the same shot, same spot. And then you got Michael Porter hitting one drifting out of bounds with Reeves draped all over him. So it's like, we will take that. But if they the shots you got to hit.
I look at that Michael Porter jump shot though, and I just see the height difference over Austin Reeves. I don't even think he was looking at Austin Reeves. I think
he wasn't.
He was just shooting. He was just going up and shooting because he's already like 6'7", 6'9".
He's 6'10". He's 6'10" legit.
He's 6'10", so when he even just imagine when he jumps, you put in the extra inches when he jumps when he shoots the ball. So I think for me, I feel like Austin Reeves and Michael Porter Jr. matchup is not great for Austin Reeves
height-wise, obviously, because he had the same issue last series against Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson started out hot, and it's just the fact that if he's not there initially, he will just shoot. If he's already raising up to shoot, it's nothing Reeves can do. Because Reeves is just too short, he just can't see him. So I think that we just had to switch. As you saw, we just switched up a few matchups, and Jeff Green hitting the corner 3 when he's shooting 30%. You know what I mean? For the playoffs is like, you live with that. I wish AD would have had a better contest, but I just think that the adjustments that we made, as I stated in the last part, was just we make adjustments and we just we take it from there. I think that taking AD off of Joker for the initial start of the play and having Rui, you know what I mean, be there because Joker is a natural. He's a pass first player. He looks to score, but his initial instinct is to pass. So I think that if we can have AD being a help defender and which he's great at, and just he blocked Jokic shot, he forced a turnover. Rui played stellar defense. It's a clip online of just like 6-7 straight possessions of him just playing straight up defense on him and just the help defender being there, and that's how we crawled back into the game, honestly.
Yeah, and the thing is, when y'all got on that run and they called a timeout, even Mike Malone made some adjustments too, and that's what I was saying. The difference between Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors and the Denver Nuggets. This team is going to counter adjust whatever they feel like is not working for them, and that's what I saw in Denver last night, where they were down. They wasn't down, but they were.
No, they were never down.
They were never down, but they were in the midst of losing their lead.
Mm-hmm.
So I was sitting there like, okay, Mark Malone or I think it's Mark instead of Mike. Don't get me wrong, but Mike was stating that Mike would call a timeout and he made adjustments too, especially putting in Caldwell Pope and making and coming out with your offensive set and shooting that three. So. It's good. That's why I said this game is going to be all about. This series is going to be all about adjustments because both teams know how to adjust. Really well.
I think that like I say, at the end of the day, if we could take it all back, LeBron doesn't shoot that three. It's a clean look. I mean, but they were packing the paint. Murray was already retreating, playing the drive. I think that if LeBron hits that three, we're having a different discussion. If they tie the game up, the Lakers may steal that because we had all the momentum. If we want to be honest, we had all the momentum. We basically figured out their defense. Like I said before, it's an open lane to the lane. It's, as long as we don't settle, you know what I mean, for silly shots, or which we tend to not do. I think that we can get a layup at any time. We can get a layup at any time. It was shown throughout the whole game. Like once we get past the initial defender, there's nobody there to really contest. They do a lot of. I just
feel like, and I told you yesterday on the show and the day before that. Your guards was going to struggle in this game one, and they struggled. Schroeder struggled. Russell struggled. Austin Reeves came on in the third and the fourth quarter. He struggled in the first half.
Yeah, I think the initial punch of it was just like the initial punch was hefty. Was what hurt us, and I think that there's a few matchups were just crossed up. The thing with Jamal Murray is that he's kind of like Michael Porter Jr. He's a legit 6'6", 6'7". So it's like if he's getting a clean look, then it's like the contest from our smaller guards is hard. And we were just having trouble with getting around that Jokic screen because he's a big body. That's why we went to put a bigger defender on Murray so we could just switch the screen with AD. So it's like it's little tweaks like that got us back.
Like that, and they try to counter switch on trying to set the pick off of the bigger man. So Jamal Murray could get the smaller guy. So it's a chess match. I'm telling you, it's going to be a chess match in this series because both teams are going to make adjustments to what's the best ability for them. But for me, I'm going to say this about the Lakers. Somebody else out of LeBron James and AD has to step up. I'm sorry. I mean, even though Austin Reeves stepped up in the fourth quarter, but I think the game would have been closer if more players would have stepped up earlier than what they did. Because if you look at it, AD had 40, LeBron had 26, then Reeves had 23. Yeah, Hachimura had 17. And I want to say what Mark Jackson said. I hope Darvin Ham makes that switch. For me, I don't know if Schroeder or one of them, somebody has to get off the floor because I feel like Hachimura has deserved his starting role.
It's gonna be D'Angelo because of his defense
for this series.
D'Angelo's defense is his shot can be hit or miss, and his defense has always been miss more than hit. So I think if they go with that. I think they go with just bringing D'Angelo off the bench and just run a bigger front court and just start out with the matchup of Rui on Jokic because we've seen I pay attention to like coaches breakdowns online and shit like that. So it's like, especially on YouTube, they have it's a couple of pages that I want to follow. I'll probably see the link to them that kind of break it down. That if you could put a sturdier defender, like a forward on Jokic and have your big man be able to play off, then it kind of benefits the team because He's looking to pass first, and you need AD to be able to rebound. He can't rebound if he's contesting the shot. If he's contesting the shot or chasing the block.
Or this is what you could do is because this is what's been happening with the Lakers as well. When AD was defending Jokic by himself, he was fine. But then when you decide to double team,
you don't got to do that.
Help. That's when they cut the basket.
And KCP was just killing us.
Darvin Ham started out that way because really Jokic, like I said, he's athletic, but he's not athletic that enough to make moves one-on-one over Anthony Davis.
The first one-on-one move he took, AD blocked the shot. He just straight up swallowed it.
Exactly. So you don't. So if I'm Darvin Ham and I'm looking at that, you don't need to come down and double. Because if you're going to come down and double, he's going to kick it out, go back to a one-on-one. He's going to get it back again.
Yeah.
So it's going to be every possession counts in this series, starting that from what I saw in game one.
Yeah.
Every possession counts, and I don't care how much you're up by, but every possession counts because people. I don't know who said this in the chat. Somebody said this in the chat last night when I was doing the stream, and they said that if we lose this game, we definitely if we lose the first two, I think they said somebody said if we lose the first two games in LA, we're going back to being comfortable in LA. I said, bruh, this is the Western Conference Finals. You don't take a game off.
No.
You don't. And I don't understand what some of these fans be talking about, bro, because I'm like, yo, you don't take a game off in the Western Conference. This is for you to get to the championship to play for all the marbles. You don't want to take a game off. I think LA to turn up. Absolutely.
The fans, that's more of the fans. You feel me? The players and people that really know basketball is like, you need to steal one of these two. You need to steal one. You have to steal one because we can't win the series by winning all our home games. That's just mathematically impossible. We only get 3 home games. So we have to steal one on the road. Either way. If it's 7 or if it's 4, if it's 5, if it's in 5 or if it's in 6, we have to steal one on the road. We have to. And I think this next game,
they both got to steal. They got at least still one on the road if they want to have an advantage to get to the next round for both teams.
We have to steal one. The Nuggets don't have to steal anything. They just have to hold serve at home. They hold serve at home. They get 4 home games. They win. But we need to steal one. We need to steal one, and I think that the adjustments that Darvin Ham made in the second, and mainly after the third quarter, you feel me, and even the second half in total, but the fourth quarter mainly is that if we can come out with that same type of energy and that same defensive attention to detail, you feel me, not being a step late on screens, not being a step late on switches and stuff like that, knowing the game plan and just understanding the game plan, I think that we can be fine. We'll be fine offensively. We can get whatever we want against this team. Like I said, like we had 126 points. We can get whatever we want. We just have to play defense. 132 is not Laker-like. 126 is fine. They're used to giving up a certain amount of points as well, but they had 2 more favorable matchups in the first rounds. But I think that we have to get back to playing defense the same way we played in the fourth quarter. If we can play that, if we can bottle that fourth quarter defense and bring it to the next game, then we'll be fine.
And I think this is what Denver went wrong at in that fourth quarter. They stopped going up and down the court, and I felt like
it's hard when you take the ball in the net.
I felt like the Lakers was kind of vulnerable on defense when they got out in transition. When the Nuggets got out in transition, they looked very vulnerable. They looked like they were like they didn't have an answer for the transition offense. The problem with the transition is that at the end of the day, if LeBron, because you've seen on the chase down block, if LeBron's not going to complain in the backcourt and he's going to get back on defense, AD's not going to end up on the ground in the backcourt and he can get back on defense, then we can be fine. It's those two because our bigs aren't getting back. They're attacking straight to the rim. They see Austin Reeves, they see Dennis Schroeder, especially D'Angelo. D'Angelo is just like a turnstile in fast break. Like he can't stay in front of anybody. And Bruce Brown was yelling it after the second and when he got on him, like Bruce Brown. I think that his impact. Down the lane to get a massive dunk too. I was kind of surprised.
Not containing the ball. Vanderbilt chasing the ball from half court, and he's not containing the ball. He's letting him get a free running lane down the lane. Like you have to stop the ball. You have to contain the basketball. That's just basic shit. There's no scheme for that. You have to contain the ball. You can't let him run 94 feet uncontested. Like you just can't. Not against this team because they're a willing passing team. That's the thing with this team. You have to make them. You have to turn it into an ISO game because if you try to bring two to the ball or if you get beat off the dribble, this team is more than willing enough to pass the
Make sure
ball
to
out of
find a
rotations.
person open with the shot.
They,
Yeah,
for sure. And they have two elite shooters because I think that KCP and Michael Porter Jr. are two people that you just cannot leave open. We've seen KCP; he's a champion with us, and Michael Porter Jr. That's what he's mainly known for is just shooting. You can't leave these two dudes open; they will kill us. You just can't. You have to pay attention to the scout report. You can't help off of those two. You can help off of like this. Just because they're not Steph Curry and Clay, that doesn't mean anything. You have to treat them like Steph Curry and Clay.
You have to treat them like that. Exactly. You have to treat them.
I think we started to do that in the fourth.
Die by the three. So I mean, even but the thing about this, Michael Porter was making them threes, but if you look at it, like y'all, when the Lakers stepped out on the three, they'll pump fake, drive in, step, and hit the little mid range jump shot. So they was being a little bit smart on how they was making their shots. The Lakers was in the second half, being more smarter on making their on what shots they shot selection. So I mean, I just feel like this. I'm telling you, if you still thinking 4 and 5, I don't know.
We just need to steal one. I think this is the one we steal. And I think we can take them all after that. We need to steal this one. Game 2 is the pivotal game. I said in the last part, I can see them coming out. Western Conference want the rematch. The fans are raging. They haven't been there for Western Conference Finals since 2009 because of the COVID year. COVID took away that. They didn't have home court. Nobody had home court in the bubble. Right. So it's like those fans came out full throat and they came out hot. They beat us by 12 in the first quarter. They ran the ball up and down the court. Jokic was just, at the end of the day, he's going to get his. You have to make it a little bit difficult for him as we did in the second half, but you can't let him get 14. He ended up with 20-something rebounds. He had 14 in the first quarter.
Right.
You can't allow that. You just can't allow it. Seven for the rest of the game.
Rebounds at the half. That's crazy in itself. Like
but he only had 4 in the second half. So it's like you have to take what you did in the second half and apply that to the rest of the game. He had 14 rebounds, but he ended up with 21. He had 21 rebounds.
He had I just had it up too.
I think he had 21 rebounds.
He had hold up, I got it right here. So Jokic had 21 rebounds, 14 assists.
And he had 17 and a half. He had 17 and a half. So we held him down in the second half. He only had four rebounds for the whole second half. So it's like if we can take what we did in the second half defensively and get the same shots that we're accustomed to getting, get layups, get open threes, and just play smart basketball without turning the ball over. That's what we did a lot in the first quarter as well. We turned the ball over too much. Like it just came out. We came out a little too lackadaisical in the first quarter. We looked tired. We looked like the thin air was affecting us, which it always does. Anybody that goes there.
Then why do you think I never go? Why do you think I would never go to a Denver game? I never.
Anybody with this is not an excuse. It's just a fact. When you go up in that high altitude, you're not playing. You're not used to just walking around in it. You're going to feel that shit when you're playing. Yeah. You're going to feel it. It's just and you seen by the early substitutions, like LeBron was out of the game within like the first 5 minutes. AD was right behind him. And he stayed on the bench for about 5-6 minutes trying to get his breath. So it was like we withstood the initial punch. You feel me, so to speak. It got a little bit out of hand towards the third, but we tightened it back up. And in the fourth quarter, we just have to be able to just replicate that. And I think that we will be fine. But it's the Western Conference Finals. It's the last 2 teams. Denver is who they are. Respect is be given, but I just feel confident in my team. You know what I mean? That's basically
I dig it because I feel like for me, when Denver had all starting 5 players in double figures, I know the Lakers is not used to having all 5 players in double figures on one team. Because if you look at it, Gordon 12, then you had Porter with 15, Jokic with 34, Murray with 31, and Caldwell Pope with 21, and then Brown with 16. So you had 6 players in double figures. Yeah, but the crazy thing is that when I look at the team stats for this, everything was like very, very close.
Right
through the whole game, like field goal percentage,
despite the initial punch,
54% from the field.
Right,
they both were shooting 54% from the field, and then like it was kind of close from the 3-point line, 45 and 46%.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally right there. Only thing y'all probably had a disadvantage of is probably free throw because they were 77%. Y'all was 88, so like a 10% difference.
Yeah.
When it came to that, I believe assists. On Lakers only had one more assist than
it was a 6-point game. You know what I mean? This was a good game.
It was a good game.
It looked like it started to be a stinker. It looked like it started to be a stinker, but at the end of the day, it was a great game. A 6-point game. I predicted a 5-point game, even though the scores may be a little bit inflated. But I think that you just come out and just expect certain things from each team. I think each team will make adjustments, and we'll just we'll see what their adjustment is to the defense that we're playing, and how do they get Murray out of the play as far as him on defense, because at this point they have two people that we want to attack defensively. Right. LeBron, like I said before, he's been matchup hunting since the last 3 or 4 games of the Warriors series, and I think that he's still in that mode of just trying to get the best matchup, get the best shot, and we just work from there. Like when you got point forward LeBron and everybody is focusing on him, and you leaving shooters wide open, it's like AR can hit, and then you got D'Angelo when he's hit or miss, and you got Rui that can attack off a closeout, and it's just once we get downhill and once we get to the cup, it's basically the layup. So they're loading up. So we just have to find the right shot. That's all it is. Find the right shot and just get back on defense when we don't. Because the transition defense was just terrible to start the game. It was terrible. There's no other way to describe it. It was terrible.